Nemorino loves Adina, but how could a girl like her, clever, rich, beautiful, ever love a boy like him? Enter Dr. Dulcamara and his patented love potion. Donizetti's Elisir d'Amore is one of opera's most charming romantic comedies, summery and sweet-natured, with a young couple you can really root for at its centre. The drama is set to some of the composer's most sparkling music, tunes that ripple with humour and glow with Italian warmth. Annabel Arden's joyful production of Donizetti's Elisir d'Amore premiered at Glyndebourne in 2007 and has become a real festival favourite, returning many times since. Over the years, it has been a vehicle for plenty of young stars who've gone on to make their mark, including Danielle Denise, Stephen Costello, Joel Harvey and Sehun Moon. The latest soprano to step into Adina's stylish shoes is Nardis Williams, a singer whose career has been measured out in Glyndebourne seasons, taking her from her first professional contract in the chorus through her time as a German young artist to principal roles both on tour and in the festival.
So I started in 2016 in the chorus of My Singer and The Cunning Little Vixen. And then after that, I think I've been here every year since, either covering in Rinaldo as Armida, or on the tour as Anne Truelove, or in the youth opera. And now I've come back this year in 2022 as a principal artist. So the Glyndebourne Auditorium is one of my favourite spaces to sing in. It doesn't feel too intimidating, it's not too large. It's quite an intimate surrounding and atmosphere and feeling, and the acoustics are quite live and resonant, but not too resonant. You get the clarity, but you also get the sense of not being too overwhelmed by sound. I've always felt Glyndebourne has nurtured me in a way. I came here as a chorus member and I've developed then into cover roles, into tour roles, and then now into festival roles. The majority of us do just move down for the season or for the contract that we're on, and it feels like this family environment. You all get on the same bus and come into work, and it sort of feels like a retreat as well because of the atmosphere, and you can hear the birds and you can hear the sheep, and you leave an intense rehearsal room and then you go into the courtyard or somewhere for lunch, and it's also intense because everyone's left the same rehearsal room or other rooms. It's such a nice time to leave that space and walk out into the greenery and the surroundings and just be. I think Elisir is a great fit for young artists because it's an ensemble piece. It's not as scary as singing, say, an aria on your own in front of 1,000 people. It's supportive in that sense because there are so many people on stage. You've got the rest of the cast, the ensemble, and we're all singing together, bouncing off each other's energy. So it's nice to be a part of an opera where you can have fun and you don't have to take yourself too seriously. You can play a character that may not necessarily be what you're like in real life. You see Adina take a journey in this opera, and she gets some of the most sublime music ever, and it's so much fun to sing high notes and coloratura as a soprano. I think that's the joys of being a soprano. I really think in Elisir it's art imitating life. We're all in Lewis and we're all living there and having fun and going for dinner and going to the pub or whatever, and then we come to the rehearsal room and we do the same thing, we act the same thing. So it's a community aspect, and hopefully we'll all be friends at the end of it.
Finding and developing young talent is key for Glyndebourne, and nowhere is this more evident than in the chorus, a central part of Elisir, as chorus director Aidan Oliver explains.
One of the very special things about the Glyndebourne chorus is that it combines a core of permanent professional choristers with a constant influx of new talent every year. We have an extensive audition process that aims to identify the best of the new singers coming out of the conservatoires and music colleges and give them this vital bridge between that college experience and their first kind of foothold in the profession, if you like. Having that influx of new talent every year, I think, does give the sound of the Glyndebourne Chorus something special, something fresh and constantly new and exciting. We always look for singers with character, certainly with a very good technical grounding, but we want people with presence and confidence, people who we know are going to thrive in this pressured environment and be able to give their best both vocally and on stage. Glyndebourne has various ways that it supports young singers. For those in the Glyndebourne Chorus itself, the Jerwood Young Artists Programme aims to support 4 particularly talented singers each year by giving them special coaching and masterclasses and recital opportunities. And of course, as well as all the cover opportunities, the understudy roles, people then do get to take on some of the major principal roles, particularly on the tour, which is a great incubator of talent as we visit venues around the country. Nardis actually joined the chorus before I took over as chorus director, though I always heard great things about her, so it was a great pleasure when I finally got to work properly with her in 2020 in this Offenbach opera, In the Market for Love, and she was a terrific presence in that, a great joy, and she's a great example of a kind of graduate of the Glyndebourne Chorus. She's made her name as a principal soloist, but I'm sure, although we can't take all the credit for her development, she's certainly gone through the gears at Glyndebourne. She's a superb example of someone who's used the opportunity to such great effect. L'Elisir d'Amore is a fantastic vehicle for the solo voices in it, but it's also a wonderful chorus opera. It is, after all, about a community, this little town in the Italian countryside. They're peasant people, simple folk, but they're flesh and blood, and Donizetti uses them to fantastic effect. There's something for everybody in the chorus. The music is very, very varied. Sometimes it's just brilliant patter text, almost like an extension of the orchestra, dum 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 dum. But then you get these exuberant wedding choruses and drinking songs, dum ba dum ba dum ba dum ba dum, and you get that superb fiery sound from the chorus, which is such a joy in this as well. It's a kind of opera, and particularly in this production, this very cinematic, realist production, where one would like to feel that wherever the camera roves or wherever the audience eye is drawn, there's something to enjoy, the interactions between the characters, between the individuals in the chorus, but also working together as a fantastic ensemble. Elisir is such a fresh, youthful opera. I mean, it's such a perfect romantic comedy, but it is about young love. Nemorino, the heartthrob tenor, he's a shy, kind of like a boy next door at high school, falling in love with his sweetheart. In fact, 4 of the main roles in L'Elisir really are very suitable for younger principal singers, just because of who they are, those characters. But also the music is so effervescent and bubbly and perky all the time. It's great for a youthful chorus like ours. They really do relate to that brilliantly, and the sound of this bright, brilliant chorus throughout is such a joy in this piece.
Dr. Dulcamara's potion may not be all it seems, but the magic of Elisir is absolutely real. In Annabel Arden's hands, this is an opera that's impossible not to fall in love with. Donizetti at his best. Tender and heartfelt, charming and funny, and just a little bit silly.